I think that the toughest conversation at the time was her telling me, I remember it clearly, driving in the car going, hey, they said I've got 3 months to live. Like, this is what I want at my funeral. And I was like, fuck. So like driving home, I was like, crying. I was crying like a dog, just crying. I was like, fuck, like, you might get in trouble for this. But she said, no white lady funerals, which is, ladies all dressed in bloody white. So she's like, no white lady funerals, and I don't want black and white at a funeral. I was like, okay, sweet. So mum passed away on my wife's birthday.
Are you joking?
On Alira's birthday. So I was like, when palliative care gave her the, hey, this is how much you got left. I think she lasted maybe 10 days. 10 days. And the hardest thing is seeing someone that, you love so much, but you can't do anything because it's just the radiation and the chemo just fucking chewed her up. And you like just looked at it and shit, like it was it's not a good sight and it's not a good look that you sort of want to remember. So like everyone sort of just remembers that instead of the sort of the good shit about her.
How post when she had that conversation with you in the car, said she had three months, where does your head go? Like
I was like, what? I was like, fuck.
How do you even process that? Like, what are the questions you want to ask?
Well, we were pregnant with the second, so I was like, I think we had maybe 6 months or maybe 5 months to go. I said, look, get to the 5 or 6 months or whatever it is. I said for the birth, and then like when you're ready to go, like you've seen the second bub. She's like, yep, I'm fully committed to that. Rah.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't. Bloody, she was gone in like I think it was like 10 days, like I said, 10 days. And on Alira's birthday, she was off to the obstetrician as well. And every day I used to just FaceTime her and just to make sure I checked in. So, rang my auntie and she's like, oh, hey, mate, mum's just collapsed, like the ambulance are with her. I was like, all right, sweet, like whatever. Fucking maybe an hour later, my auntie rings me. She's like crying, like she's gone. And like I still remember the sort of conversation of that still ringing in my ear, And I was like, fuck, like I didn't know what to do. I was like sort of tunnel vision, sort of, didn't really know what was going around me. And I had to ring fucking like everyone. So that was the hardest.
You were the guy who had to ring everyone?
Yeah, I had to ring everyone. And it was hard too because obviously they pronounce her dead. So then you can't move the body. So the body is like, say mum's just like, she's in the lounge room, like on the lounge. So it's like, all right, you can't do anything. So it's like, what do we do now? So it's like, you got to get a death certificate from her doctor, which you couldn't get till like 2:30 in the afternoon. So she was gone at like 8 o'clock. So I was like, all right. So she's just, sitting on the lounge, just.
And you were all there?
She's gone, but the body's there, right? She's not, if that sort of makes sense. So you're like, oh, like, so finally got the death certificate, and then you got to ring a funeral home to sort of come. And then I think the hardest thing was watching her being put into a bag, because that's sort of the hardest thing that you can sort of, vision or look at, because, she was alive bloody, 6 hours ago, but now you just stuff her into a bag. And so, that was hard. That was leading into the round one of.
Mate.
So, for me, it's not dwelling on it. It's like I can't bring it back. I can't sit at home or cry or grieve or like she's gone. So there's nothing I can do about it. But that was the hardest thing. It's like, well.
But I imagine there is got to be a mourning period after losing your mum, man. Naturally.
Look, I know it sounds pretty bad, but I was like, look, I can't just stay at home. I was like, I've got to go to fucking train.
Sure.
So I was like, just go to training, and then like, thank God for like all the boys, because like, we made a joke about it, because like it makes you feel a lot easier. Like,
Yeah.
not at the time, but now we sort of make jokes about it because it's life, and I think the quicker you sort of understand or have an understanding that death is a part of this life, then I think the easier it is to sort of process it.
I think that's, to be honest, mate, like it's I think for people who are listening that might sound cold, but I also think that like that's just the way people grieve sometimes, and almost getting on with it and having people like the boys that you can lean on in that time.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a huge piece, because everyone's going to deal with things differently, right?
Yeah.
And also like having something that you can get back into after, because what I'm trying to think about is just like, well, if I was in that position, what would I do, or what would help me? And I feel like getting back to in training routine, being around your friends, I feel like that would help.
Yeah, and for me, it was like we just had a whole preseason. Just like we were, so it was the 1st of March. We're playing. That was a Wednesday, so we were playing on the Thursday. And I was like, well, I've been training for fucking 12 weeks or how many weeks it was. I was like, well, team sort of needs me. I said, like, the bigger picture is my teammates and sort of my job. So like I said, it might sound cold, but there was no point or no sort of issue of me staying at home and grieving, or my grieving was to just go out there, just do what you sort of get paid to do, and then after it, then I'll have some time to sort of at the funeral I sort of I grieved, but there's nothing I can sort of do to sort of bring it back.
Do you speak at the funeral?
Yeah. Fuck.
What'd you
Mate,
say?
I did the last part, and I tried to make it a joke, not a joke, but a
talk about it in a positive light.
Yeah, talk about sort of things, because she was massive in her chutneys and chilies. So I sort of made a very lighthearted sort of speech there, and and I sort of wish I had filmed her prior to going, but you don't sort of think that way to, and I should have done a video to, that's what I would have liked to have done, but I never thought of doing it until sort of post she was gone. But yeah, I spoke. I cried at the viewing, like at a viewing, just because it's like, fuck, she didn't want to get buried. She wanted to be cremated. That was the third one. So she wanted to be cremated. No white lady funerals and bright colours. And that was good. And we had like nearly 300-400 people. I was like, fuck, I didn't know she was that fucking popular. You know, like, and there was so many people from different sort of sports and organisations that she was sort of involved with, and a lot of people that I hadn't seen for 15, 20 years. And she worked in the markets. Flemington market, so she had Flemington people, and then she was a sort of teacher's aide towards the back end, and then a lot of students sort of rocked up that she helped with obviously their learning. So I think the hardest one was my brother was that was the hardest thing to process. He was also his process of mum, because he sort of relied on her sort of a lot, and then like I said before, he passed away maybe a year after mum's 1 year. That was last year or this year? This year.
Yeah.
So March, it was in March again. So he had a heart attack, dropped dead.
How old was he?
34.
Mate.
So then my biological father, my father, is still alive and kicking. So, I had to sort of have a whole process in getting the next of kin. So he had seniority over myself, being the next of kin. So I needed to get that waved over to me for me to then deal with the body, and like just shit show.
Just quickly, did you have much to do with your old boy growing up?
No.
So did you have nothing? So before, and it's fucking wild. Like, mum, and then a year later, like
then my brother dropped dead. Full autopsy, because they're like, do you want to have an autopsy? I was like, well, yeah, I'd like to sort of know what happened. So he had some sort of heart disease Don't know what it was called.
Yeah.
Had a sort of
Big name.
medical bloody name to it, but
Mm.
had a heart of a 65-year-old. I think 2 out of the 3 arteries or fucking tubes or whatever to the heart were like severely blocked.
Mm.
So they were like 95% blocked, and then
And he didn't know like anything like
no.
pre-existing.
So
or prior?
like again, so like he walked into the house, and it was my auntie that rang me on the first one with my mum. She had to deal with my brother as well. So she rang me. She said like, he came in, went to the toilet, came out, said, "How's your day?" Rah rah, and then he apparently ran to the bathroom thinking that he was going to throw up, and that's when he sort of collapsed. And she took him out to the lounge room again, and being at his age at 34, then it was like a crime scene, fucking set up. No one's allowed to go in. You could see him just laying there on the ground, sort of tubes down the throat, purple, like just not a good sight.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, goes to the coroner, and then you get an hour viewing. So, which he looked a lot better than sort of what you saw the first night. So, yeah, I was pretty good with organising bloody funerals. So yeah, sort of the last 18 months has sort of been not ideal. Sort of mixed bag of lollies if you like lollies, but it's life. It's how you want to deal with it. That's how my sort of 18 months has been going. So, but yeah.
Mate, first of all, like I'm sorry.
That's
like
right.
it's
all good, man.
But the way like you speak about it incredibly well. First of all, so for someone who hasn't spoken about it publicly, speak about it incredibly well. But I know for a fact how hard that would have been. Like 100%, it would have been, right? Like your brother.
Oh,
and
it wasn't hard. It was just like it wasn't the right time. It was like fucking hell. Like we just got over mum. Well, not just got over mum, but it's like we've just finished her 1 year, and I think with Fijian sort of culture, you got to sort of like grow your hair out for like 100 days, and then on 100 days of the person passing, you sort of celebrate, which I miss because I had to fucking play football. But anyway, it was like got to the 1 year, everyone was like, sort of spinning stories and things like that, and it's like sort of starting to move on, and sort of try and plan her. Spreading her ashes, and I was like, oh, where should we do it? Rah. And then my brother sort of happens. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So they're just sitting in a box currently in the garage. I brought them up.
They're
so,
still here.
So we're going to sort of try and plan a family thing to sort of do it at once. But it's sort of that's what it is at the moment.
Even now, is there crew who you lean on? Like, do you talk to a Lyra? Is there mates?
Nah. Like I said before, okay, like it's death. Death is a part of this life that you sort of want to look at, whether you accept it or not. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to everyone. So, like I said, it wasn't ideal at the time. Especially with my brother, mum, we sort of had an understanding because it was like, all right, she's got cancer, and you got three months to sort of live, so you can you got that sort of time to sort of get yourself ready for it. But then with my brother, it was like, fuck, just and he, like I said, he was independent for mum and really relied on mum for a lot of things, and